Over the last few months, I started thinking about building a bed for my daughter as she'll be turning 3 in the fall. After considering a bunch of different ideas, I realized what little princess doesn't want a castle, and how fun would it be to build one for my daughter. There are a lot of ideas and designs available online, but I settled on a design from Steve over at Curious Timbers. I like the way his plans were organized, and I'll link his build video and Etsy site where I bought the plans below. The first design I came across was his full build plans, which included a staircase and a slide. Although it looked like a fun challenge to build, I realized it wouldn't fit in the bedroom. The next plan was a simplified plan, but I didn't like the ladder up to the loft, and some of the upper portions seemed a bit too simple. The nice thing about his plans is they're built to the same scale, and I decided to combine the two sets of plans. This isn't meant to be a how-to video. His plans are clearly laid out and easy to follow. I am going to do a brief walkthrough of the build and touch on some of the changes and challenges I encountered because I combined the plans. Hopefully this will help if someone else wants to do the same thing. The plans called for accuracy within 1/16 of an inch, which was tough in some cases, especially in long rip cuts. I tried to live by the measure twice, cut once adage, but I did mess up and have to redo a few pieces. The first step was breaking down the pieces into their rough size and shape. In total I used 9 pieces of 3/4 inch birch plywood. Everything was labeled and stored together, with finer details for their final shape added when assembling each section. The bed was made in 10 separate pieces to make it easier to move into the room for final assembly. After all the cuts, here's what I had left for scraps. Not bad. Most of my shop time to work on this was after the kids went to bed. Thankfully, my wife checked on me periodically to make sure I hadn't cut a finger off, and sometimes she even brought snacks. Putting the first tower together was exciting and daunting. Each side was beveled at 22.5 degrees with several dado grooves for the shelves at varying heights. I was very happy that it all fit together, and it was great to get an idea of what the finished product would look like. The sections got more complex after that, with windows and arches of different radiuses. For this section, I also played with scrap wood of different thicknesses to add some fake stone accents above the window. The sidewall of the simple plan was one that I changed a lot. I didn't like the plain look on the top and added details similar to what was on the bridge. I also wanted to make the window a bit bigger and move it away from the wall side in case I wanted to build a bookshelf or something beside the bed in the future. I also decided to have some fun with the stone accent pieces here. There were some very precise angles that needed to be cut in some of the small pieces, ranging from 65 to 71 degrees. It took me some time to figure out how to do it safely, and in the end I built a simple jig to get accurate cuts without losing a finger. I saved the hardest section for last. The simple bed design had a simplified bridge, but I decided to build the one from the full build plan. This had many angles and compound muttered cuts with a high degree of accuracy. Thankfully, there were a few spots the author noted you could cheat if you didn't mind using some wood filler at the end. I didn't mind at all. With all the pieces assembled, it was time to move on to finishing. Here I filled all of the holes and cracks with spackle and then sanded it all down, including any sharp edges. When it comes to painting, I'm fully aware that my choice in colors is secondary, and I was secretly hoping my wife would take over and both choose the colors and paint the bed. Instead, she said how nice it would be if it looked like bricks, so off to the internet I went. I found a page where a guy painted his son's bedroom using a pretty simple technique. I'll link the site below. Basically, it involved using 3 colors and taping the grout lines after the first coat. Subsequent coats were applied with a sponge to add some texture. I did convince her to tackle the intricate portions, as her attention to detail is much better than mine when it comes to painting. We're pretty happy with the finished look. The faux brick process was easy and worth the extra work. Everything went together well with some minor adjustments on site. I added some supports onto the top bunk as well. Overall, this was a really fun and challenging project, and I'm happy with how it came together. I learned a lot along the way, made a few mistakes, and have some ideas and suggestions on things I would do differently if I was to do it again. The downside is that my son now wants an addition on the fire truck bed I built for him a few years ago, something about a fire truck castle. It's a good thing the shop is ready for another project.